So maybe you're thinking about becoming a chaplain or chaplain candidate in the Army Reserve or the National Guard, but the pay scale is a little confusing. Well, today we're going to look at that and find out how much do you actually make as an Army chaplain or chaplain candidate in the Reserve or Guard. So tune in. Well, hey everybody, welcome to the Tattooed Chap. I'm Drew, the Tattooed Chap. Well, today we're going to deep dive into Army Reserve and National Guard pay for chaplains and chaplain candidates. The system can be a little confusing, but we're going to hit the basics to help you better plan and budget as you pursue the calling that God has on your life. And if you're interested, last week we talked about how much an active duty Army chaplain makes, and that link will be right up here. And as always, if you have any questions about the stuff that we talk about today or Army chaplaincy in general, comment below and I'll do my best to answer those questions. And if you guys are watching this and you know the answer to the questions that someone else posts, maybe you can respond too, because we are a learning community and we grow together. Also, if you watch any of these videos, hit that subscribe button because it really does make my day and it lets me know I'm doing good things. So hit that subscribe button. Let's get started. Very basically, your pay breaks down in three ways. You have your drill pay, you have your annual training pay, and you have any allowances and bonuses and things of that nature. But today we're just gonna look specifically at drill pay and break that down, and then your annual training pay. Now on the goarmy.com website for an 01, which is a second lieutenant, so those of you that are looking at chaplain candidacy, it says that you make just under $7,000 a year when you combine drill pay and your 2 weeks of annual training. But what does that actually break down to on a month-to-month basis? What does that look like? Well, let's look. I'm gonna work off the assumption that you're thinking about becoming a chaplain candidate and that you're gonna be coming in as a second lieutenant. For those of you that are gonna be coming straight in as a chaplain, either as a first lieutenant or a captain, which is an 02 or an 03, you can look at the scale and figure it out based on your rank. So the 2020 pay scale for reserve says that you make about $109 per drill. Now it's kind of confusing because you're thinking, wait, that's 2 days of worth of work and I only get $109? Well, the truth of the matter is each drill day actually counts as 2 drills. Over those 2 days, you actually earn 4 drills. So that's actually about $444 that you would be making per drill. And you do drill once a month, so that's an extra $444 in your pocket. Now, you're not gonna stay a second lieutenant forever or that long if you continue on, so that money will bump up pretty quick. One of the things to look at when you're looking at the pay scale is you're getting paid per your grade, which is your rank, and the years for your time in service. So far, almost every single year, Congress does do a pay raise increase, typically between 1% and 3% is what we've been seeing on average in the last 10 years. So you can also expect to see a pay raise every year in that way as well. So as a chaplain candidate, you're actually gonna have 11 drill weekends per year, and in the summertime, you'll do your 2 weeks to 3 weeks of training, unless you go to Chaplain. So if you think about it, $440 per month, and you have 11 months, that is what, $4,400 plus another $440. Yeah, you do the math. I'll put it right here. So you'll be making around $4,800 for those 11 weekends. Now, when it comes to annual training, typically annual training is 2 weeks to 3 weeks long, but typically your whole unit will go do some kind of field exercise, and you are there as the chaplain candidate, and you're ministering and serving those soldiers as they are doing their training and conducting their missions. When you're on orders for your annual training, you're actually no longer making drill pay, but you move to the active duty scale, but we know that you're only doing 2 weeks to 3 weeks, so let's just say you're only doing 2 weeks. So you'll be making half of what a second lieutenant makes in a month for your 2 weeks worth of training. Now, the thing that's interesting is there's other little bonuses and things of that nature that play into this. Like there's sometimes mileage that you can get paid, travel pay. There's other types of incentives and things like that that can be added into this. But the goarmy.com page says that a second lieutenant with under 2 years of service makes about $6,900 a year just for their drill and just for their 2 weeks of annual training. If you go to Chapolak, it's gonna be more. So if you go above and beyond your annual training and your regular drills, then you'll make more money as well. Now, one thing that a lot of people don't realize is you can do what they call double dipping. Now, this is when you work for an employer that will still pay you when you're doing your drills, or if you're doing annual training and you're missing work. For example, when I worked for Washington Department of Ecology and for Washington Department of Corrections, I got paid as if I was at work doing my job for Washington State while I was also at my annual training. I got paid for up to 25 days a year, I think was in my contract with my union. When I would go to drill, I would actually be earning 2 separate paychecks even though I was only at one place, which is kind of cool. Not every employer does this, and also not every church does this. So to summarize, this is the minimum that you can expect as a second lieutenant with less than 2 years in the military. Oh, and one other thing, when you're in the reserve or in the National Guard, you don't really see a BAH, which is the basic allowance for housing, or a BAS, which is the basic allowance for sustenance that we talked about in the active duty. You only see some of that when you are on active orders for your annual training or if you go to a school. You don't really see BAH or BAS on your month to month when you are just drilling. So tune in next week and we'll talk about all the additional benefits that you can receive if you're gonna be a chaplain or chaplain candidate in the active duty or the reserve or National Guard. There's some pretty cool things that maybe you aren't tracking that you should be aware of that I think are really beneficial. Well, everyone, thank you for tuning in. Hopefully you found this helpful. If I didn't really explain it well and you have some further questions, just comment down below and I'll do my best to help answer that question. Also, again, share this, like it, and subscribe if you haven't yet subscribed. I know there's some of you out there. Hit that subscribe button, make my day. And if you do that, you'll go away knowing that you made a difference in my life. Oh, and if you haven't yet, make sure to follow me on Instagram and also follow me on LinkedIn. Shoot me a message on Facebook Messenger or on Instagram. I love talking with y'all and hearing what God's doing in your life as you're pursuing His calling and exploring maybe what God has for you. So anyways, we'll see you guys later. Go out, make God famous as you pursue Him and your calling. Love y'all, and we'll see you later. Bye.
And tonight is our playground. We are kings of the world.